Hi, my name is Sky, and I am glad to finally present to you my first video. This has been something I've been meaning to make for a very long time. And now it's finally here for, hopefully, y'all to enjoy. This video will be based around the story of my family and our long history with Tennessee. Now, before I get into the story, I want to give a few warnings. This is the first time I've ever done a video, so I would like, trying to think of the right word, helpful feedback on things I should change to make it a little better, if the audio's off or something, anything like that. You also might hear some noise in the background, like one of my cats moving around, or the bells, or per se my dog, or potentially some road work outside, because that is going on. But this is the only day I can really record and get this out here. So I'm sorry if any of that goes on. I'm sorry if I repeat too much. I'm really nervous, but I hope that this turns out for the better. Now, I have a bit of a guideline book here to help me keep track, although I did not completely write out what I was going to say. It's just some little bits. So let's get to my family in Tennessee. My family has this long-standing tradition of going to Tennessee ever since my grandma was a little girl. See, they've been going to Tennessee since it was just a small town. It had a few stores, like a grocery store and a gas station and just a few others. And my grandpa and some of their friends actually helped Tennessee grow. They helped set up stores, help bring more people to the town. Not Tennessee, but actually Gatlinburg. I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention it. It's Gatlinburg itself that my family really has a history with. Okay, hey guys. Before I get started into the story, I want to tell you a bit about this drawing. So, when I was coming up with the concept, I knew I wanted to do a girl, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with her. And I started thinking about the story that I had written a while back for this tiny little contest on Facebook. And it was basically write a story based off this picture. And it was a picture of a forest. It had a bridge, and it was covered in like orange and red leaves. It was absolutely gorgeous. And so I wrote a horror story about this girl named Scarlet and her murderer. And it's from the murderer's point of view. And he talks about how he loves Scarlet and all that, da-da-da. And maybe some point I'll read it for y'all. Not today, because I don't know where it is. But I kind of got that idea. That's why, it's fall, and all those colors are like orange and red, and all that. And I really like that. And I kind of wanted to put in, I don't know why. I was thinking of the galaxy when I started adding in the white and the hair and the skin and all that. And I just really kind of enjoyed it. And so I stuck with it. Sorry, I have a bit of a sore throat due to allergies, because it's in between winter and spring, and so I'm fine with the winter pollen, but this spring pollen is killing me. But hopefully in about 2 weeks I should be better. So, I kind of got some of the idea off that. And I have this one drawing, and it's of a forest. It was just, I was visiting family, and I was staring at the forest, and I was looking at all these drawing prompt challenge things. And one of them was to draw a forest. And so I did, and that's where I learned how to do all the patterns and all that in the trees. And I keep on saying and I'm so sorry. I'm going to say like 20 times plus in this video. And it's just because I'm nervous and it's my first one, and I honestly do not have the type of time on my hand to go through and delete every and make the audio all weird, besides the fact that I kind of need those in to make this audio long enough. The reason why I'm recording all this right now is because I was editing and I can only make the video so fast, which means I need to learn to make these shorter. Um, and I didn't have enough audio, so I was like, well, shit, what do I do? And so I'm adding this, and then I'll send it all up and cry. I won't cry. I've been really lazy. So it's one point, okay, little side note, one point I stated that I'll probably update every 2 weeks. From what my schedule has shown me, it'll probably be once a month, maybe twice if you're lucky. if I'm lucky, if I have the time. So sorry about that. I really am. I don't mean to make this, I don't know. But it'll probably be once a month, mostly because I'm really busy with school and I don't often have a lot of time to record, although I do draw a lot, so y'all should check out my Instagram. And if you're on Amino, there is a pretty there's a pretty good chance I am in, if you're in a whole bunch of art groups, I'm probably in one of them. And I've posted, and I freaking love Amino. People comment on there and I love it. It's wonderful. They are wonderful people. All my Amino groups are just beautiful. So, back to the whole concept for the drawing. Basically, I just wanted to do something where it was kind of fall and all that, because I love the fall. Fall's beautiful. And so that's where this drawing was born from, basically. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm not a person, especially over the past few years, I have not been all that happy with a lot of my art. There's some of my pottery I love. And there's one or two pieces that I really enjoy. But it wasn't until recently I finally got to a point in my drawing ability and painting ability where I actually felt proud of my drawings. And it wasn't too bad before I started taking art classes in high school and all that. But I critique my art so hard, and I look at all these other artists, and I'm a little envious, but what I'm really looking at is, okay, stylizations, I want to get up to that level and all that. And, I look at it and all that, and I'm just I want to improve to where I'm at their level. It's like when you're running. If someone's ahead of you and you're in a race, you want to beat them. You want to get up to their level. And so that's kind of how it is with me in my drawing. And so I'm really happy with this piece, and it makes me really happy. And even though I know this video isn't going to be the best quality, I'm happy that this drawing is the first video I will have, because it makes me really happy. And I honestly love that. So I hope you enjoy it. The materials I used are ink. Obviously, they were ink pens. They were actually gel pens, but I just call any pen ink. And I used ink as my watercolors, because the current watercolors I have are really chalky, and I did not want that for the end product. I'm actually getting new watercolors, yay me, so hopefully that'll improve any watercoloring I do. Okay, I'm done. I'm talking way too much, and I think I got about all the audio I need. If I don't, then I'll just do a little outro. See, my family has this long-standing tradition of going to Tennessee, and not just Tennessee, but Gatlinburg. And this tradition has been going on since my grandma was a little girl, 6, 7, 8. They've been going since Gatlinburg was a small little town with just a few stores, a grocery store and a gas station, one or two other places. And it was actually my great-grandfather and a few of his friends that helped Tennessee grow into a bigger town. And that would eventually lead to, what it was before the fire. And what it's trying to become again. And my family had these traditions when they would go. And most of the traditions I heard from my parents' point of view, my mom's point of view, and her siblings, since they were kids. They had these 3 jokes that they always heard on the way to Tennessee. The first one is, why is there a fence around the graveyard? Because people are dying to get in. How many sides does a pumpkin have? 2. An inside and an outside. How do you know when a dog is sleeping? when his eyes are closed. These were jokes that my mom and her siblings heard every year on the trip to Gatlinburg. It was a family tradition. They even told it to me and my sibling and my cousins when we were going up to Tennessee to see it for the first time. They're pretty dorky and honestly really lame, but it was a big thing with our family. You always told them on the trip, 'cause my great grandma started it. But that wasn't the only thing that would happen when they would go up to Tennessee. They would also give my mom and her two siblings some money. I think it was about $20 each. And for some reason, my mom and her sister just couldn't seem to hold on to their money. They would always spend it within the first 2 days of being there. And then they would go to their brother, my Uncle Brian's, and beg him for some of his, because he would always save his money and set it aside. He may buy one or two things, but in the end, he usually had the majority. And so, of course, because, well, they were little tyrants, and he knew that he couldn't beat them if they tried to attack him, he would give them some of the money on the promise that they would pay him back, which they almost never did. But that was part of the family tradition. It actually continued on the one time that me and my family went up to Tennessee. Because my grandpa, he gave me and each of my cousins $20 for us to spend while we were there. He even gave it to my baby cousin James, who was such a sweet little thing, but he didn't really have anything to buy because, well, he was a baby. But it was pretty great. One tradition that did not continue with me and my cousins and my brother was how my mom and my aunt and my uncle were allowed almost complete freedom from sunrise to sunset. Even when the town was big and bustling and all that, and there were tourists everywhere, they were allowed complete freedom, unless there was like some family event going on that they had to be a part of. And I'm talking since they were little kids, like 8 years old, they were allowed to roam around this big town and just be free, do whatever they want. And I mean, it was great for that time, but at the same time, could have been really easy for my mom or her siblings to have been kidnapped. There was no adult supervision for them. And I'm actually kind of happy they didn't continue that tradition with us, because I'm sorry, we would have lost a cousin. And it's kind of funny, because I mean, Gatlinburg is this huge bustling town, and it was still pretty big when like my mom and her siblings went up there, and they just let them roam, and I can't believe that, kind of. Like, I mean, I can because I know my family, but like, I can't believe that they just had complete freedom, these little kids. And I mean, it continued until they were older. And I think it's pretty cool for them to experience, but I'm really happy we didn't do that. Oh, so there's this hotel in Gatlinburg, and I think it got burned down in the fire, that my family would go to every year, and that's where they would stay. They would stay there each year, and that was just their hotel, because they happened, I think, to know the owners at that time. And I happen to know before the fire that it become like a conference place. Like, people would hold conferences there. It wasn't really a hotel anymore, or not as much. We didn't stay there the time we went up. We stayed in a cabin, and I'll tell you a bit about that later. So let me think. Which one do I want to do? So I think. Okay, I was reading my book for. Okay. I'm sorry. My throat's a bit messed up at the moment. But, so there's one really big story from when my family went to Gatlinburg. When my mom and her siblings, when they were younger. So they were about teens at this time, and my mom, her sister, and a friend of theirs was walking down one of the streets. Like they were on the sidewalk and they went to cross, and they were in the crosswalk. And this is in this area where you have to be really careful because people are walking across all the time because it's a really long strip of like all those amusement places and all that. So they were crossing, and my mom was the only one in the actual crosswalk, and she was wearing this bright neon green dress. And okay, this is a woman who always wears black. So of course, the one time she wears some bright, noticeable color, something terrible happens. So they're crossing, and this lady goes like flying and like zooming past and hits my mom dead on. Like my mom flies. Um, and this is supposed to be like a 35-mile-per-hour zone. She was going way over that. And so my mom goes flying. They completely hit my aunt and their friend. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the right words. Completely misses my aunt and her friend, and then just goes and like just doesn't even check to see if my mom's okay. She just keeps on driving. My mom went flying from the impact of this car, hitting her. And so then my aunt and their friend run over to my mom, check her out. My mom has so much adrenaline running through her system. She doesn't feel anything. She gets up and she starts walking towards the hotel. So she's walking towards the hotel. My aunt is trying to get her to stop. And when my aunt realizes that she can't get her to stop, she just goes and looks at her friend and is like, oh, run up to the hotel and call the ambulance. Because she knew there was no way to stop her until she got to the hotel. And so eventually, however long it takes, they get up to the hotel because my mom was not stopping. And the ambulance is already there. And so they my aunt's just like, she's here, come get her. She got hit. And my mom is bleeding, she's all messed up. And so the EMTs get her to lay on a stretcher. And while she's on the stretcher, they're trying to see, they were doing this eye test thing. I don't know what it's called. I just know, you have them follow your finger. And so one of the EMTs was trying to get my mom to do this. But every time that he would go do it, he's like, okay, so you need to keep your head still, but have your eyes follow my finger. So every time she would start moving her neck, he's like, no, you need to keep your neck still. You could have a neck injury. And she just keeps on doing it. And so finally he just gives up, puts a neck brace on her, I think. And it's just nah, something's up there. Just puts her in the stretcher. And okay, so in ambulances, you can usually only have one person go along with you. And, my grandma was in the hotel. And she sees everything going down. She realized one of her kids got hit. And she's running down. She wants to get in the ambulance with my mom. But my mom is not having that. Because, okay, when she got hit, the person who was with her the entire time she was walking was my Aunt Christy. And so she's like, no, I want Christy. Christy's coming with me. Because she had hyper-focused on Christy. Because once she had reached the hotel, the only thing she had to focus on was Christy. Because that was the only thing else she could, remember at that moment. And so my grandma gets so offended by this. But, Christy gets in the ambulance and goes with her. And my grandma gets in the car, gets my grandpa, and I think grabs my uncle. And they drive to the hospital. They follow the ambulance. And, of course, they take care of my mom and all that. But she's just banged up horribly. The next day, she is just completely covered in bruises. She has casts. She's on crutches. It's a whole big thing. But within 2 days, they go to Dolly World. Once she's released, within 2 days, they go to Dolly World. And if you've ever been to Dolly World, it's an interesting. I didn't get to go, but from my family stories, it was a pretty interesting thing. It was really weird. Sorry to cough. My throat is dry. I don't know what I was trying to say a second ago. So they go to Dolly World while my mom is all bruised up. She looks like she was tortured or something. It's just horrible. She's just completely black and blue. And so they're at Dolly World, and they're having lunch at some point, like middle of the day being there. And the waiter comes up to her, um, while she had like she went to go get a drink or something, and the waiter goes up to her while she's alone. Is like, "Are you okay? Are they abusing you? Do you need me to call the police?" And my mom, probably high off painkillers, because I'm pretty sure they gave her some good ones, just starts laughing. She doesn't know what to tell the poor boy because he looks honestly worried. And, you know, she's just really messed up because of in a car wreck. And my family actually has a stroke, and it's a horrible, horrible joke. Um, because it's Dolly World, you kind of might think of rednecks and all that. And, or at least back then, that was the kind of whole idea. And so they make this joke where he saw her and he's like, "Today I'm just not going to turn away. Today I'm going to do something. I'm going to make a difference." And they were just and it's a really bad joke, but it's one I've heard since I was a kid. And I I don't believe in making light of abuse and all that. But it was kind of one of those moments where you're just laughing and like, ha ha ha. And it's a little funny, but okay, on the side I'm gonna say abuse is a serious thing. It's not a joke. If somebody you know is being abused, help them get out of that situation. And don't be an abuser. That's a horrible thing. Just saying. Sorry. I'm gonna take a sip of water. A phone, what you want? Okay. So that's basically the end of my mom getting hit, her hit and run story. Um, oh, there was one little thing I forgot, and it's a detail that I haven't heard till like later on in my life that they. So while the EMT is dealing with my mom and all that, she's laying on the stretcher. Off to the side, there's this guy with a guitar singing, and he's like looking at my mom, and he's like dead ass staring at her. And so, and he actually comes up to my mom and starts serenading her. And like the rest of the family vaguely remembers this, but my mom has a full-on memory of him just singing to her. She doesn't remember what song, but she remembers him singing to her, and it's really something weird. And we kind of gotta wonder if it's like a weird hallucination shock thing that happened because of the car wreck. Car hit and run, not a car wreck. Although she has been in quite a few. So now I'm going to talk about my own experience going to Gatlinburg in Tennessee, and all of it. So my family went, me, my brother, my mom, and her siblings, and their children. I didn't go, but that was because he was working. We went in October of like, oh god, I'm trying to think. I'm still in school, so 2016. It was October of 2016 that we went. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, it was 2016. So we went in October of 2016. Actually during the week of my school's, what is it called? It's something to do with football, and it's a dance. I don't remember. So, me and my family went during October 2016 to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. This was actually the week that my school was having their homecoming dance. And I think we lost that game. I'm pretty sure we lost. We were such a bad team. We lost almost every single game we played. And it was really bad, especially since I came from a different school. That I was at a different school for 2 years, and we were really good. And I mean, the second year I was there, we were kind of sucky because there was changes with the coaches and all that. But we still didn't lose every game. But so I was kind of happy I wasn't there that week to watch all of us lose, and there was this whole thing with a freshman that was going on that'll probably be a different story. She's actually really sweet, and I really enjoyed spending time with her when I did. It was just It's just a small little story they'll probably do with a tiny sketch or something. Sorry if you hear my chair moving. I'm really sorry about that. So we went in October 2016. And we went because of this. It wasn't Make-A-Wish, like how they do for kids, but it was like there's this program that is like Make-A-Wish, and it's for senior citizens, and it's to do like one big thing for them, especially if their quality of life is really going down before they die, to give them like this one experience that they can always look back on and be happy and. So this was for my grandma, and her wish was to go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, with her family, with all of us, and so we went, and we drove up there, and it was about a day and a half, or it was a long drive. It was from Georgia to Tennessee. It wasn't quite a day and a half. It might have been like under, but it took us a long time to get there. We had to take two cars. We got lost, and it was horrible. And of course, the jokes were told while we were going, and but it was nice. I ended up being in the car with my cousins, and like my aunt and her husband, and my mom was in the car with her parents and my brother, and maybe one of my other I think one of my cousins took my seat in that car, and I took their seat. Um, Fun little fact: I was the oldest. I still am the oldest. I was the oldest out of all the kids there. I was 18, I think. Yeah, I was 18 because it was 2016. So I was 18, and the oldest kid that was closest to my age was, I think, 14, and that was my brother. And then all the cousins got younger from there. So I've been the oldest on both sides of my family out of like all the cousins of my generation my entire life. I was the firstborn. It's a really weird kind of sucky thing. But because you don't when you're the oldest, and especially when it takes all the other parents and like your uncles and all that, uncles and aunts to have kids, you don't really have like the friends to play with during reunions. Like on my dad's side, I had my cousin Jordan, who was born 4 months after me, and then I had my cousin Brooke, who was born 4 months after Jordan, and that was us. And but on my mom's side, I had no one. I had no one for like so long. So of course I was center of attention when I was a little kid. Back to the story. Sorry, I'm really bad about just going off on tangents about random things. So we got up there. We stayed in this really nice cabin. It was like a 3-story cabin. It had a whole bunch of bedrooms, but of course it didn't have enough for everyone. So my aunt, her husband, and her kids took the biggest room, and my grandparents got the room on the main floor. And I think also my uncle and his wife and their baby James, they got the other room on the main floor, because there was 3 rooms, and on the main floor. And then we had Bobby. Bobby was this family friend that's like a son almost, and a son to my grandparents. He's like an uncle to me. Sorry, I keep on coughing. Take a sip of water. And Bobby was upstairs. My aunt and one of her kids would stay upstairs with her. Actually, no, 2 of them would. One would be on the floor, and one would be on like this pull-out bed thing that was also the sofa, because she couldn't share a bed because she's really sick. And then the other one would sleep in the living room with my brother. He would be on one couch, and she would be on the other couch. And I got to stay downstairs, in this like game room place, and it had like this whole wraparound porch. Off to the side had a jacuzzi, and I could just walk down this set of stairs, go into the forest. It was really nice. And I had like a pull-out bed thing from the sofa, and I could play the games, and I had a TV. So I didn't have my own room, but I had like but I did at the same time, and it was really nice. The only problem was like the kids would get up early, and they would come in and they would wake me up because they wanted to play the games and do pool and all that. Even though they didn't know how to play pool, they just liked hitting the balls with the pull cubes. Oh my god. Um, but it was pretty nice. It was a really nice cabin. We had to go to the grocery store the first night, get a whole bunch of food. We had a lot of sandwiches. We had a lot of sandwiches. There was a lot of peanut butter eaten. Um, so I'm sorry about all the background noise. Oh my god, because I keep on hitting my rings by accident on my desk because I'm sitting right here. So, that was our first night. Our first night was like figuring out the cabin, all that, getting ready, and it was really nice. The drive to the cabin is horrible though, cause it's on this mountain. It's on a really steep mountain, and then our driveway is like a steep incline, and so it's like really hard to get up and down it and all that. But we made do. So we stayed in this cabin, and our first day we went to like the long strip, all the stores, and um, and all the amusement places, and it was nice. And we had fun. We checked all these places. We went on the skyline, and if you don't know, the skyline is this giant thing where it goes up the mountain, and you sit on these chairs. It's usually two people to like the bench thing, and you just go up and you sit in it, and then you stop, and you can when you're up at the top you can check out the store and get a few things, and then you go back down. You have to go back down. There's no other way to go back down. You have to go back down the skyline. It was a lot of fun. I think I sat with one cousin. I sat with one of my cousins on the way up. I sat with Winter. I sat with the youngest. And that was really fun. And I got a bow and arrow while I was up there. I don't know why. I also got like this gem. I got this gem that was in the shape of a bear. It was really nice. My mom got it for me, and I think I got one or two other things. I didn't get much while I was there. Side note, I had some extra money because I saved money from something or whatnot. So that's why I was able to get a bit more than my cousins because I was the oldest. So I had more money than them. But it was really nice. It was nice. And when we were going down, so it was me and my cousin Autumn. She's the middle one. She's actually, my middle name is her first name. She's named after me. And we're pretty close. We have a lot of things that are alike, but we have enough things different that we're individual people, but like our personalities. She's like a young me. It's really weird. But it's really kind of cool. So she was sitting with me, and my mom is in the seat behind us, and my mom is sitting alone, and she's freaking out because she looked down while we were going down, and me and my cousin, we are horrible people. We're like, better not fall, you're gonna die, da-da-da. And just like, oh no, we fall in the limousine, you're gonna die, because my mom is freaking out. And we are really bad kids for doing this. Oh my god, it was horrible of us. But it was all in joking, and we didn't get in trouble. We shut up a little bit. And it was just because, it was all in joking. We were just making jokes. We weren't being serious. And my mom calmed down halfway through, but at the same time, she's like, you little shits! Shut the fuck up. Like, she was getting mad at us. And, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun going up the skyline and all that. And it was really enjoyable. And that was, like, our first day. We also went to this, like, Rigby's or something, haunted mansion kind of thing. And it was... Our tour guide took us the short route because my cousin, who's really sick, she was screaming bloody murder because she was freaking out. It was horrible. And we realized the tour guide had this signal to let them know when to, like, let them know when little kids are coming through and when to let them know that they can be really, really scary because it's adults. Because me and my brother, we were in the back. We were at the back of the pack. So, and it was just my entire family that was going through this. And so my cousins, all the younger kids were up front. And then, me and my brother were in the back with my mom. And so when me and my brother would be about to pass a person or something, the tour guide would click his cane against the floor to let them know to attack. And it was terrifying. Like, we got chased. Me and my brother got chased. They were actually able to grab us, which was terrifying. But it was a lot of fun. But that wasn't the best part of the whole tour and the Haunted Mansion kind of thing. The best part was towards the end, we're in this elevator. We think everything is over. And me and my brother are the farthest from the main elevator door. And but there's another door on the other side. And so what ends up happening is the door that's right next to me and my brother opens up, and these zombie prop things launch out at us. And me and my brother are screaming bloody murder. Like, we're trying to run through our Uncle Danny. We're trying to get through him to get out. Like, we're acting like he's not there. And we are just trying to get as far away from these zombies. We're freaking out. It's only for like a few seconds. And my family loses their freaking minds. They are laughing their butts off. They find this hilarious. As me and my brother are just terrified. Because we've just gone through hell with this mansion. It was horrible. But, we survived and all that. That was great. So that was like our first day there. And it was pretty great. We had a lot of fun. I don't know if this was like our second day. I don't know exactly what the rest of the days were, like, numbered. We were there for a few days. But one day, there's this whole art strip thing where it's like 50 art stores and all that, and they're on this one long road. And it used to be like, every artist was different back when my mom and her siblings were kids, and it was something they loved to go check out. But sadly, as time goes on, things get a bit more commercialized. So we went, and almost every store was exactly the same. Like, there was a few like candy stores, and those were different. Those were like homemade recipes for the most part. But like the actual art stores were all almost exactly the same. Like, they sold almost the exact same thing, and it really sucked. The only like store that was like pretty different from the rest was this one guy. He was selling prints of his art, and I mean, it was just gorgeous. Like, I went in, and a part of me wanted to cry at how beautiful it was. I actually bought 2 prints from him. It was the 2 that like moved me the most, and I still have them, and they sit on one of my walls. Actually, I think they sit on a shelf. They sit on a shelf, and they're like attached to it. And I mean, I absolutely loved his art. It was different. But while I was there, he was on a call with this young lady who I think was like, maybe not exactly his daughter. Don't attack the cactus. Stop trying to eat the cactus. I'm sorry, my cat is trying to eat my cactus. What the hell? Don't do that. No, that's not healthy. And it's the really spiky one too. Like, I've pricked myself on this and it hurts so much. Back to the story. So he was on a call, and it was with this young lady, and I think she needed bail money. And obviously, like, you could tell they were close. I think he was like a daughter to her, but wasn't quite his daughter. And he had done this a few times, and he was like, this is the last time. I can't do this again, all that. So he was on the phone with her. He was trying to deal with that. And I didn't mind waiting because I could understand, this was a really important situation. This was the only time he could, like, talk to her. So I was waiting. My mom got really annoyed, though, because she came in, and she almost made me leave because of how long he was taking. And I didn't mind. Like, I wanted his art. I found it beautiful. I didn't care how long I'd have to wait. But my mom was getting so mad. But luckily, he got to me. He ended that call, and he got to me pretty quickly after that call was over. And, I got my art. But my mom said if he had taken, 5 minutes longer, you wouldn't have gotten anything. And I was like, no, I wanted that. I was spending my own money on that. You need to back off some. There was nothing else in this entire area that I really wanted, and this just moved me, and I was so happy. I still have it. It's absolutely beautiful. I hope he's doing well. I really do. So that was nice. It was a really fun trip, and I think a little later on, we went to this whole place where you can sift through these piles of dirt, these buckets of dirt, to find gems. And you never know what you're going to find. And we got a whole bunch of, stones and all that, and it was wonderful. And it was a lot of fun. We spent so much money. But me and my brother absolutely loved it. We got all these gems. I actually have them all over my room. I have some in bowls. I have some in, vases and stuff. And they decorate my room. They decorate most of my bookshelves. And that's where I got one of my first garnets, like one of my first garnets that I know of, like just the stone not on a ring. And it's the only garnet I have right now. It's really tiny, but it's beautiful, and I got a whole bunch of others. I keep them all over, 'cause they really bring up the energy of my room. And I absolutely loved doing that. And we had the choice of like getting some of them, you know, cut and all that to be rings, and we just decided not to because we loved how they were originally, and it was just a great time. But also, while we were out doing this, my grandma, she has diabetes, and she has this whole thing. She'll forget what she needs. She'll forget her insulin and all that, and it's this whole need of her to be the center of attention. And so while we were out, she forgot her insulin, I think it was, and her blood sugar was getting really low, and so we had to make her go eat something, and it was like at this like candy store. That was a lot of fun though. We went to the candy store and we got some food, 'cause they did happen to have a little diner part. We I wasn't eating. We hadn't had lunch. And it was getting kind of late, so it was good we got food. But she had this whole thing with needing to be completely the center of attention. But outside of that, and I can kind of understand it was her trip. She was the reason we were there. But at the same time, let us enjoy it some. We spent a lot of time on her. Let us enjoy it some. Let us not just focus on you. But that was a lot of fun. And there was one point we had to do a photo shoot for this article that they were the ones that were paying, so they did this whole article on us. So we had to do a photo shoot that took a while. That took like a good hour. So long. It was so annoying. If you ever search, you could probably find it. I have no clue where it is though. And one of the days we went to the national park there, and that was great. It took forever to get there. There was no cell signal. I hated that because I was really bored in the car because there wasn't really anything to do in the car. But we started looking at the forest, and that was a lot of fun. We visited the national parks. We went to like the whole historical area they had. We checked that out. That was a lot of fun. There's this one point where me, my cousins, my brother, and my uncle Danny started saying the word Bob in a group, and like one of us would go Bob, and it would start up the others. So my mom and my aunt and like everyone else were like trying to walk enough behind us that they didn't look like they knew us. And one guy walked up to them and was like, "Honey, honey's y'all ain't walking far enough for us not to know their yards." And it was hilarious. And it drove them crazy. And then we started switching to other words because they're like, the next person to say Bob's going to get a spanking or something. So we started switching to other words. It was horrible. They hated that. But we got to play. And, around the forest, we saw a bear. We actually saw a few bears. We saw a baby bear. All these people were stopping to go near this baby bear. And the problem was like them going near it was putting the bear in danger of the mom not taking it back, and them in danger of the mom finding them with her baby and attacking them. They were dumbasses. And like we got a photo of the baby bear from a distance, but we didn't go near it. We took like a photo as we were passing, and we went on. But that really slowed down the traffic out of the forest. And I remember we would stop every once in a while. We would go off to like these sides where you could go off, and we were like playing in the rivers and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And like when we were in the rivers, we would like collect some rocks, cause river rocks. That's always a nice thing. So, that was a really fun day. And our last day, I remember our last day. Wait, no, before our last day, my cats are attacking each other. Stop it! Stop it! There's you can hear a bell in the background. That's my cats fighting because one wants to clean the other. Now they're making noise. Oh god, no. Stop it. Stop it. Don't bite me, you little shit. Panther attacked me! He cut me. And he attacked my face. Please stop this. Off my let go. Off my desk. Bye bye. There you go, widget. Sorry about that. Um, I don't know if I want to keep this in the audio or not. I may remove it. Because I just screamed. Oh my god. Oh, that's horrible. I actually got cut. What was I was talking about? Okay, so one of our last nights there, we went to see Sweet Fanny Adams, and that was wonderful. They really got involved with our family. We had a lot of fun, and it's this wonderful show that's like you can get a DVD of the recording that happened the night with you involved and everything. My family was involved a lot in that, and it was a lot of fun, and it really it was just wonderful. It was a wonderful time. The only problem was during this entire thing, I started having a panic attack, and I have a really, really bad anxiety, and so panic attacks are not fun. What are you doing? Leave my pens alone. I have really bad anxiety, and I started having a panic attack in the middle of it, and I mean, there was like nothing we could do. I wasn't gonna leave. I was gonna force the rest of my family to leave. I did go home. I was one of the first people to get home. Because I needed to decompress and all that. I was in one of the quieter cars. That was a fun night. I actually got to drink some liquor that night to help me calm down some, because they didn't. It was a really bad one. They didn't know what else to do. This was before I had my anxiety meds, and I got to enjoy. Every night we would like sit around the table. That was our dining table, and we would tell stories, and that was really nice. It was like family stories. And I love moments like those. I love when we're just sitting around all together telling stories. And of course, there are the stories that they tell when all the kids are around. And luckily, I was an adult at this point, so I could also be involved in the stories that they told when, they sent my cousins off to bed, my brother off to bed. And it was really nice. And it was great. And then so the last day, me and my mom and my grandma and Bobby and my brother, we all went in the same car. We went to see, it was like it was air something, drive, and it's this mountain forest area, and it's beautiful, and it used to have like the country church and all that, like they had this whole country theme, and that was where my mom happened to get married. We actually got to see where my mom was married, the building, where they had the service and all that. That was really nice. It was really beautiful. It was a wonderful area, and we really enjoyed it. It was a great time. So we got to play in the riverbeds, and that was a lot of fun. I almost fell so many times. Like, we were completely soaked when we were done, but it was a lot of fun. We got a whole bunch of rocks, and it was great. We got to play in all these rivers, and then when we were heading back home, we went the route where you got to go on the Indian Preserve, check it out, and my mom and my grandma were telling us all about how, the Indian Preserve, oh my god, the Indian Preserve used to be like really bustling, and used to have a lot of business. And I think we went like a weird route because we knew there were casinos there. We didn't get to see the casinos, but like, there used to be a lot more stores and a lot more business, and it was like the soul had been sucked from the land. It was kind of sad. We only kind of like drove through, and like we stopped at the gas station and used the restroom and all that, and we headed out, and I think we picked up food, and on our way back, there was this one point where we were looking at all these buildings. So as we were going through this town, they just had beautiful buildings, and we were going through the countryside, and that was really great. It took us forever to get back home, but it was a really great trip, and I really enjoyed it. And so there's just going to be this thing I'm about to mention. So me and my family went before the whole big fire hit Gatlinburg and destroyed a lot of businesses and a lot of homes. And I remember we were in the car, and like the entire trip, all of us had this sense that the next, like, something big was going to happen to Gatlinburg, and it wasn't going to be for the best. And we just knew that we'd never have the chance to see Gatlinburg like this again. Like, a lot of the stuff that was here wasn't going to be here again. And I remember my Uncle Danny, he looked at this one hotel. He's like, that's not going to be here if we ever come again. And he was right. That was one of the places that got hit. There was a small hotel that I think was closed at the moment because it was switching owners. And I'm happy we got to see Gatlinburg. It was really nice seeing Gatlinburg and, seeing my mom and her siblings and my grandma go to this place that they went to and then experiencing it for myself. And it was really nice. We didn't get to go to Dolly World. That kind of sucked. But we all had this feeling that if we ever got the chance to go again, it would never be the same. Gatlinburg would be dramatically different, and because of the fire, it is. But I'm really grateful that we got to go, and it was a great time, and it was really enjoyable. And I cherish those memories. I have photos. I don't have hundreds, but I have a whole bunch of photos from that trip that I absolutely love. They're all over my wall. They're me with my cousins and my family. And it was a great trip. And I love it. Okay, guys, so this is my outro because I realized I don't have one. Oh my god, no, and I'm about to take out I had one, but it sucked. So I hope you really enjoyed this video, and you will stick around to see what else I do and how I improve. And I know this isn't the best video. Trust me, I know, and I will only be able to watch this so much before I cringe, but I'm going to learn, and I'm going to keep on improving, and I hope y'all stick around and see all that I do to make this channel my own and show my art and show what I can do. And I hope y'all enjoy my stories. I kind of got some ideas going around of what I'm going to do, like what type of stories I'm going to do. And I mean, for my family alone, we have plenty. I might start doing like shorter sketch videos for a lot of my family ones, or because there are a lot, but a good amount of them can be kind of short, like 10 minutes, even though this one was 30 because I put a whole bunch together, because they had one base theme. I just want to say that, honestly, this was a lot of fun, and I'm happy I did it, and I hope y'all enjoy it, and I hope y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have great days, honestly. Anyone out there, I hope you have a great day. As long as you're a decent human being, I hope you have a great day. And I hope something makes you smile. So, peace out, guys. I love y'all. Stay around, please. Okay, quick side note, even though I already signed off. Sorry about my audio. I know it sucks. It's because of my microphone. It's basically a karaoke microphone because I didn't have that much money to spend on it, so I didn't get the best quality. I will eventually update to something better, so hopefully that will get better. And I'm going to try to work on the microphone some to see if there's any way to make the audio louder. Also, you probably noticed if you actually watched the video and weren't just listening to me, even though that was so easy, there are moments where it skips because I was using my phone to record, and basically, I was pretty good at keeping an eye on when it would shut off, but I didn't always catch it. And that was a bit of an issue. So, especially towards the end, you'll notice moments where there will be so much progress, and then skip forward a little bit, there's a whole bunch more. And that just kind of happened throughout. So, I hope you enjoy this still, though. Sorry about all that, and have a great day.